Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving into something that's truly changing the world as we know it, and that's artificial intelligence, but specifically its role in medicine. I mean, this stuff used to be pure science fiction, right? But now it's actually on the front lines of healthcare, which forces us to ask a really big question.
And here it is. Could an AI, an algorithm, diagnose you better than a human doctor? I mean, really think about that for a second. It's the question at the very heart of this whole thing. And you know what? The answer is, well, it's not nearly as simple as a yes or no.
Okay, so first things first, let's get on the same page. When we say AI in healthcare, we're not talking about some robot doctor from a movie that thinks and feels like a person. Not at all. What we're really talking about is an incredibly powerful pattern-finding machine. It's a system that can look at millions, literally millions of medical images, patient files, and lab results all at once. It spots tiny connections and weird anomalies that would be almost impossible for the human eye to catch. The analogy I love is this. Imagine a medical student who could cram and perfectly remember a million different cases overnight. That's kind of the power we're dealing with here.
All right, so here's our game plan for the next few minutes. We're going to look at AI as a new tool for doctors, how it's shaking up medical diagnoses, and how it's helping us find faster cures. Then we'll get into the really tricky stuff, the promise versus the peril, and finally, we'll peek into the future of healthcare.
Okay, let's dive in. The absolute first thing to get is that this isn't some far-off future thing. AI is already a tool that doctors are using today. And this is so important. The goal right now is not to replace doctors. It's to augment them. Think of it like giving a brilliant doctor a super intelligent assistant that can handle a ton of the grunt work, freeing them up to make even better, more informed decisions.
And that leads us right to the area where AI is making, well, probably the most dramatic splash: medical diagnosis. We're talking about its mind-boggling ability to see things in complex medical data that we humans, well, we just might miss.
Now, to really grasp why this is such a game changer, you have to put yourself in a doctor's shoes for a second. Think about an MRI or a CT scan. It's not just one picture. It's a huge, massive amount of data. And somewhere in all of that digital noise, a radiologist has to spot a tiny, early-stage tumor. The pressure is immense, right? It's an incredibly high-stakes job where every second counts, and the potential for human error, even for the best specialists, is always there.
And that's exactly where AI comes in. It's like a second set of eyes, but with superhuman abilities. It can scan thousands of images with a speed and precision that's just, well, not human. It can flag a tiny spot on a mammogram that might be the very first sign of cancer. Or it can analyze a picture of your retina and detect diabetic retinopathy, a major cause of blindness, way earlier than we used to. In some hospitals, AI is even watching patient vital signs in real time, and it can predict a life-threatening crisis like sepsis hours before it actually happens. Think about that. That's a critical head start for doctors.
Okay, so let's talk numbers, because the results are pretty striking. There was this recent study from Harvard and Stanford, and what they did was give complex medical cases to a bunch of experienced doctors. The human physicians got it right about 73% of the time. Now, the standard GPT-4 AI model, it scored about the same. But then they used a new, more specialized AI and, wow, its accuracy jumped to almost 89%. That is not a small improvement. That's a huge leap.
And this really highlights where AI shines, on these super specific, data-heavy tasks. Take this one example. Researchers trained an AI just to do one thing: identify prostate cancer from pathology slides. Because it was so focused, it achieved a staggering 98% accuracy. I mean, that is almost perfect. It's an incredible tool to help pathologists confirm what they're seeing and catch cancers as early as possible.
But here's the thing. AI's impact doesn't just stop at diagnosis. Not even close. It's also completely changing the game when it comes to finding cures faster and creating treatments that are designed, well, specifically for you.
You know, traditionally, the journey to get a new drug approved is an absolute marathon. It's a slow, painstaking process. We're talking 10, maybe 15 years from the initial idea to it actually being available at a pharmacy. And it costs billions of dollars. So many promising ideas just fizzle out along the way.
But AI is like hitting the fast forward button. Instead of all that slow trial and error, these algorithms can chew through mountains of biological data to find the most promising targets for a new drug. They can even design brand new molecules and predict how effective they'll be, basically from scratch. What used to take years can now be done in months. It's a total game changer.
And this is where it gets really exciting, because AI is finally making personalized medicine a real thing. For so long, medicine has been mostly one-size-fits-all, but now we can get personal. Step 1. An AI analyzes your unique genetic code. Step 2. It finds the exact genetic mutation that's causing your particular disease. And then Step 3. It can suggest the perfect treatment that's targeted to your specific genetic profile. It's medicine designed just for you. Okay, so this all sounds amazing, right? Almost too good to be true. And that's why we have to pump the brakes a little bit and talk about the other side of the coin. The promise is huge, but so is the peril. With technology this powerful, there are massive ethical questions and real challenges that we cannot afford to get wrong.
So you've got this amazing promise on one side. We can catch diseases earlier, get personalized treatments, discover cures faster, maybe even lower healthcare costs. Fantastic. But the risks are just as big. What if the data we use to train the AI is biased? Well, then the AI could actually make health inequality even worse. And what about privacy? We're talking about feeding these systems our most sensitive health data. Then you have what's called the black box problem. The AI gives an answer, but we can't always see how it got there. And that leads to the ultimate question. If the AI is wrong, who's responsible?
Look, for any of this to work, for us to actually trust this technology, we have to solve these problems first. It's job number 1. The data has to be fair and diverse, period. Our privacy has to be protected with ironclad security. And doctors need to know why the AI is making a certain recommendation. It can't be a mystery. All of this comes down to one thing: regulation. We need clear rules about who is accountable when things inevitably go wrong. The doctor, the hospital, the people who wrote the code.
So, where does this all leave us? What is the actual future of our healthcare going to look like? Well, everything seems to be pointing in one clear direction: a new kind of partnership. Which brings us full circle, right back to that question we started with. The one that, let's be honest, probably makes us all a little nervous. Will AI replace our doctors? Well, the answer, pretty much across the board, seems to be a resounding no. That's not the goal here. The future we're building is one of a partnership. Let the AI do what it does best, the tireless, number-crunching, pattern-finding work. Let it analyze the scans, sift through the data. That frees up our human doctors to do what they do best, the things a machine can't. We're talking about complex problem-solving, real empathy, and making those tough, nuanced decisions that require a human touch.
So, in the end, it's not about replacement, it's about collaboration. This team-up between human doctors and artificial intelligence could genuinely revolutionize healthcare and make us all healthier. But it leaves us with one final critical question. The challenge for all of us is this: how do we make sure that this partnership is built in a way that is fair, ethical, and truly benefits everyone? Thanks for watching.